everybody, and welcome to a new video on my channel. Today we're driving the Hertz Team Jota Porsche 963 at Fuji. This was a very enjoyable and dramatic race, so I highly recommend you stick around and see what happens. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. It would really help me out a lot. Now we finished the formation lap in 15th with the Lamborghini to our left and the Jota Fuji in front of us, with the Porsche Penske car just to the left of the Jota Fuji as we get ready to go racing here in Fuji.
Floor it, green.
And the green flag is out. We're going to move to the left with the Jota Fuji off the start.
Car right.
We had a very good reaction to those lights there. We're going to look for a move on the Porsche, move to the right. We're going to go to the left. We're going to look down the outside of turn 1 here. See if we can come with that. We're going to go for the move past the Porsche.
You're on the left,
we're going to go
3 wide
with the BMW and the Ferrari. Follow the Toyota round the outside of turn 1.
Still there.
We're now wheel to wheel with the Porsche number 5.
Hold your line.
13th place, we've made 2 positions.
He's still there.
Going into turn 2, can we get any more moves done?
Still there.
The Toyota's going to take a lot of curb there, get a little bit mixed
You're
up
on the
with
left,
that
3 wide.
We're going to try it round the outside.
Right, clear right.
Big snap of oversteer there, we're going to manage to hold our position as we go in to the start of sector 2, trying around the outside of the Ferrari.
Clear left.
Not quite enough grip around the outside to get the power down. Ferrari and Toyota are going to go side by side down the back straight as we look to try and make some more moves here on the opening lap. We're going to look to the inside of the Ferrari, dive it down the inside, hard on the brakes there to avoid contact with the Toyota as he goes for the move on the other Porsche there. We're going to go round the outside of the Ferrari, wheel to wheel up the hill now at the start of sector 3. As we go down the inside of the right-hander, we're going to get that move done. Now we're going to look forward to the Porsche Penske car going up the hill now, into the left-hander now onto the final corner. We're going to try get the move done here, not quite close enough. Look down the inside, we're going to get blocked off there. Now we come out onto the back straight to finish lap 1. Very dramatic start to this race. We've made some good positions.
Okay, Charlie,
now.
just keep hitting your marks. This is looking good. P9.
So we're just going to adjust the motor map. Watch out for the Ferrari diving on us. Nothing was tried there. We held position behind the other Porsche. We're going to try and just get closer now. Try and get some more moves done, as there is suspected to be some rain on the way here. And we want to try to
Sector 1 is yellow.
We have to make the pit stop. A yellow flag in sector 1.
We think that up here has gone off. Sector 1 is green.
I think that's the Alpine that lost it in sector 1 there as we get the green flag out. The Porsche up for the move on the Toyota just in front of us. As they're now wheel to wheel going down the back straight. This is going to leave us with very few options here. As we miss our mark a little bit, going to have to go around the outside, not really where we want to be. The AF course of Ferrari is going to try around the inside, down the inside of us. We're going to hold the position. Going now up the hill into sector 3. On the brakes, can we find a move there? Just not quite. We now go up the hill, still looking for a move on this Porsche. Nothing's going to come there. As we come into the final corner now, the Porsche goes for the move on the Toyota.
3 wide, you're on the right.
We're going to take advantage of both, get a
Clear
triple
left.
overtake done there. What a move.
That's the stuff.
As the engineer congratulates us on that one. Now we look forward to Ferrari number 51. We're now in P6 at the end of lap 2. It's been a very good start to this race.
6th place.
As we head into turn 1, just going to hold our position here. Not try anything just yet, a little bit too far back there. As the AF course of Ferrari is now ahead of the Peugeot. Must have followed us through. Now we're going to try and maybe look for a move around the outside of the Ferrari as we go wide. AF Corsa Robert Kubica is going to take advantage, wheel to wheel there, onto the back straight. Which one of us will come out ahead by the next corner? We're still wheel to wheel all the way down the hill. It's
still
braking at the same time there, but the inside line should give us the advantage. He backs out of that one there, very sensible. Yeah, bit of a snap of oversteer there as we start sector 3, looking to just gain some time on this Ferrari in front of us. Trying to move forward still in this race. So we get very close there, coming out the last corner. But that Ferrari's got good grip and good acceleration here. Be a tough order to keep up with that. It's now starting lap 4 in P6, 31 minutes to go on the clock as we're going to brake late. We're going to go for a move on the Ferrari, very hard on the brakes, just missed the Alpine there.
Hold your line.
Very close to contact. Holding wheel to wheel with the Ferrari number 51. We're going to get that move done going down the hill. As we head into turn 2 now, Alpine and Glickenhaus wheel to wheel. The Ferrari's going to go for a move on us. We don't see him and he's spun. He's round. Number 51 is round. We go for a move on the Glickenhaus though. We're not going to worry about that. Not really our fault. We're just going to keep our eyes forwards. Glickenhaus lost 2 positions there. As we now look forwards to the Alpine car. As we head down the back straight now. About second between us. As we go hard on the brakes there, try to close that gap down in sector 3.
Green flag, sector 1.
As there was something happening in sector 1 there, not sure what that was. As we go purple in sector 2, we're going to climb the hill, watching out for this yellow Ferrari behind us. Keeping it very close all race, following all our overtakes through. It looks like he's going to go for a move into the final corner. We're going to defend him, however, keep the position, get the power down to the main straight to finish off lap 4 now. Still looking forward to this Alpine as it gains about 5/10 on us through that last sector. As the windscreen wiper now starts to bounce back and forth, showing that maybe there is a bit of rain falling now. There's still 29 minutes on the clock and rain coming. This race could really change still.
It's starting to drizzle.
The Lamborghini is leading the way here in Fuji with a French 2-3. I'm just going to check the tyre temperatures there, just see if they're still holding steady. As now we can see the droplets on the windshield. Fuji is a place that's going to get very difficult, especially in this corner when it gets wet. So timing this crossover is going to be crucial for a good result in this race. As the yellow AF Corsa Ferrari still stays with us within half a second pretty much at all times this race. We're going to set the pit stop settings up to be all wet tyres when we do make the call. As we go late on the brakes, the Ferrari's going to follow us all the way through, get very close to us. Now driving a little bit more cautiously to account for this rain I'm seeing. Don't want any silly mistakes just yet, it's too early on for that. It looks like we are getting closer as the Peugeot and the Alpine having a little bit of a battle in front of us there. Can we take advantage of that fact?
Car right side's clear.
It does get a little bit mucky there. Has a bit of a wobbly moment. We are going to try sticking to that slipstream now. Within half a second of P2 as the Alpine looks like it's going to try and make a move on the Peugeot into turn 1. As we start lap 6. The Alpine and the Peugeot are wheel to wheel going into turn 1. The Alpine is slightly ahead. We're going to give him the room. Don't really want to get too close to this. The Alpine's through there. The Peugeot maybe holds us up a little bit on the exit. But we're going to get the power down and look for us to overtake this Peugeot. As we take this left-hander very aggressively, a lot of curb there. As we go into the right-hander, we're going to try and take a bit of a tighter line. Just experimenting now as the track conditions change. Seeing if there's a bit of a quicker line. There's a bit of water there, causes the front left to lock up. We're going to go a bit wide as we come onto the back straight. That's cost us a few tenths to this Peugeot. But the Lamborghini still holds a comfortable lead ahead of the Alpine now. Because we're just going to try and close this gap down. As we take probably too much curb there. Climbing up the hill now. Into the right-hander, getting closer to that Peugeot. Potentially in a place to make a move going up this hill here into the left-hander. As we're going to go down the inside, move, hit the apex nicely, just shut the door on him. He's going to try and come back on us. Very close to our bumper as the AF Corsa Ferrari is going to go for pretty much a copycat move there. just into the next corner. As we now fly down the back straight to round off lap number 6, start at lap number 7. Rain is falling pretty heavily now.
P3.
2.6 seconds back on the leader as the Alpine takes the lead of the race into turn 1 there. We're going to be pretty careful on these brakes now. Don't really want to lock up into turn 1. That can be a very punishing mistake here at Fuji. We're going to run down the hill now, gaining about 5/10 on the Lamborghini there, who lost quite a bit of time battling with that Alpine. Once again, we're going to be very aggressive through this portion of the track, as this Porsche does seem very, very grippy here. Going to have a little bit of a lock-up warning there on the lights as the traction control works hard to keep us on the track. Barreling down the back straight, 1.8 seconds to the Lamborghini in front, as maybe the Lamborghini's looking for the move on the Alpine. The Alpine's going to defend it well. We're just going to try to take advantage of this. Getting a bit of time, we have a big snap of oversteer there in the wet. Starting to struggle just a little bit. Lock up there. Go wide as the AF course of Ferrari looks like he wants to make a move on us. We're going to lock up there as well. We're really big loss of grip now, really struggling. We're going to call it now for the transition. We're going to make the pit stop on this lap.
All right. Right side's clear.
Pretty majorly there.
All right. You're on the left, it's 3 wide.
Battle. The AF course of Ferrari
on your right,
going to take
clear
advantage of this. Get past us there as we were trying to change our pit stop settings.
Oh, Charlie, come on, mate, defend your position.
But I am hoping that this undercut will work as we come into the pit lane now.
Watch your speed.
Track
The
condition
crew is
does
ready.
change to wet. Really struggling to get it stopped there. As now we're going to come into the pit stop for the
Box
wet
in,
tyre check. It's going to take
290.
no
We're getting
fuel.
proper rain now. Looks like it's getting harder.
So it's just going to be a tyre change here. Hopefully
Box
it's
in,
a good
5,
quick stop.
4.
Because right
3,
now we are in the lead
2,
of the people who have
1.
pitted, so this could potentially put us
Box
in the lead
now.
of the race. Because we really struggled to
Go,
get it
go,
stopped
go.
in the box. It's going to be a 16-second pit stop. As we see the top 4 get away from us, it's going to be about 40 seconds by the time we're out. Electric getaway there as the engine kicks in. Now it's the BMW just behind us in P6. That was the BMW had that.
You're all clear,
we had
stay
tried
behind the
move
line.
on into turn 1. As we come out the pits, we're going to go very easy
Muller
into turn
is now
1.
on wets.
Don't
Your tyres are
wanna make
cold,
any
watch
major
out.
mistakes. Very, very careful. We've got 40 seconds now to the Glickenhaus in P4. As the tyres are going to warm up quite quickly now. So much spray coming off these cars. This is where the race became quite difficult and the curbs became properly lethal. We are going to keep pushing hard, trying to get all the time and speed we can out of this car. Especially on this lap, as I believe the top 4 will be pitting now, so this lap really matters as an out lap to get this undercut to work. As we have a big snap of oversteer there, starting sector 3. That curb was very wet. As the BMW now gets closer. As we come up the hill now into the left-hander. Very, very tricky braking zone in the wet. As you see, we have a little bit of a wobble there. Just managed to get it stopped. BMW gets a better run through there, however. It's going to be quite close to us coming through this final corner. So we do take it quite cautiously. Quite a lot of curb there. Another wobble on the exit. Still trying to find where the grip is in these tough conditions now. As we barrel down the final corner, the BMW is just completely getting washed by our spray. As we head into turn 1, hard on the brakes. Well, there's a big lock up there, big wobble. As the Lamborghini just
Right side.
the pits, just behind the BMW.
Right side's clear.
Good undercut has just worked, but the BMW has managed to get in front of us, taking advantage of our mistake there. Can we try and get the repass done as it goes quite slow? Then we have a lock up. A little bit unaware of how much that car was going to brake in front, but we're going to look like we're going to try it around the outside here.
Car right.
Just move out a lot of understeer coming from
Still
the
there.
front end.
Clear right.
We're going to get that move done, however. Block up into that corner. Nothing too serious, as the Lamborghini looks like it's going to be making the move on that BMW. It's behind us, as we can just about see the headlights through the spray in the mirror now. This rain is not getting any lighter, as we're just very careful on the brakes into that heavy braking zone. Puddle forming there. We're going to be careful on that curb after the spin on the last lap we had. We're going to head up into sector 3 now, which was definitely the most difficult sector to drive in the wet here, with all the inclination changes, as well as the BMW gets closer to us, dragging the Lamborghini and the Alpine with it. Big snap of oversteer there on the exit of that corner, struggling to find the balance in this car in these wet conditions. As we lock up into the final corner, that's going to invite the BMW in, but he can't quite get the power down, as we completely lose the rear end. We've lost it out of the final corner. That's going to be very punishing. We're going to try and get it spun round as quick as possible. Get ourselves back on track now. We're going to rejoin just behind the Porsche Penske car in front of the Fuji that we actually started the race behind. This is definitely not where we wanted to be in the start of this wet condition period. On lap 10 now.
Come on, no more mistakes. Concentrate.
10 positions there. As we go into the first corner, can't see anything, really struggling to get the car stopped. Go quite wide, completely miss the apex there as well. We're going to run down the hill now, chasing down the other Porsche, 1.2 seconds back. As we come into turn 3, cannot see anything in this hot spray. We do completely miss the track there.
Okay, Charlie,
we do get
just cut the
for
track.
that one. Really suffer from understeer.
The rain's absolutely terrible here, be careful.
So we get warned about a very, very wet track here. Big lock up on the front left trying to get the car stopped. We do take a pretty nice line through there though. We're now within 7/10 of the Porsche in front. We're going to try and just keep bringing that time down until we're in a safe window to make a move. As we come into the braking zone here, very, very wet, can't see anything still. Lock up, back end steps out. We're going to keep it under control, however. Now head on to sector 3, within half a second of the Porsche in front. Traction control working very hard now, as we have another little step out from the rear end. Going to head up the hill. Can we get a move done on this Porsche?
Car
We're
right.
going to try down the inside.
Right side's clear.
Yeah, that's that move done, just hit that curb. As now we enter the spray of the Cadillac, still unable to see anything.
Car
We're going to
left.
look for a move down the inside of the final corner. That was
He's
very
still
brave
there.
there. We've got it done.
Clear left.
Bit of a snap of oversteer there, but we're going to keep it under control. We're now chasing down the Glickenhaus for P9. Can we recover in this race all the way back onto the podium? Just coming down the back straight, there's just a wall of water forming now. As we wheel side by side with the
Hold your
Glickenhaus.
line.
Can we get round the outside of him here in turn
Still there,
1?
clear right. Car
Water's
right.
not really going to help
Clear
us.
right.
We're going to struggle
That's
to get
one,
the
mate.
power down. But we're going to manage to get the move done, as the Glickenhaus look like he's struggled even more. We're going to come into turn 2 now, behind the other Porsche Penske car. Very, very brave on the power in this corner here now, just to try and keep very competitive. We're going to go around the outside of the Porsche Penske car. Not an easy move in these conditions, that's not. And we're going to look for a move on the Peugeot in the same 2 corners as the Porsche looks maybe for the re-overtake of us. It's going to be too far back for that one now though, because we look forwards to overtake the Peugeot again in this race. Now on the braking zone here, we're just going to try and get it stopped. Big lock
Clear
up there,
left.
we're going to manage to get it stopped on the apex.
Right side,
Park
clear
on the
right.
apex.
Well done, mate, that was
Stop it from
great.
getting the re-overtake. And now we're going to look forwards to once again battle with the AF Corsa Ferrari. Seems to be a reoccurring enemy in this video. We're going to head up the hill now into the left-hand, a very difficult corner. Literally can't see it due to the amount of rain on the windshield and the amount of spray coming off the cars in front. It looks like AF Corsa car is going for a move on the Alpine car. Down the inside of him, can he get it done? He's side by side of the exit. We're going to have a big snap of oversteer that we're going to have to try and catch. It looks like the AF Corsa car is going to be ahead of the Alpine at turn 1 maybe. can the Alpine hold its position? As we got down into turn 1 braking zone, very tricky now in these wet conditions. As the Alpine now goes for a move on the Porsche, we have another little lock up. And as we come out of that corner, we're going to be right behind the Ferrari AF Corsa. Can we look for a move on him? We're going to go side by side down the hill. Very brave here down the outside of turn 2. We're going to back out of it. We're going to stay very close, however, try and maybe get the move done around the outside. It's going to go for the move on the Alpine. That's going to give us very few options, and that the only option is the inside, so we're going to get that move done down the inside. Can we get a move done as the Alpine, as it has a little bit of a wobble there on the brakes? We go very deep into that corner. The Alpine's going to re-overtake us. We're going to keep the position from the AF Corsa car. As now we look to try and get the overtake done on the Alpine number 36 here. We're down the back straight, a lot of curve on that exit. Really struggling for grip as we go into the brakes. So big lock up there, that's contact with the Alpine.
On your right.
We've spun ourselves round.
Yellow flag in
Big
sector
lock
2.
up in the wet conditions.
On your right.
That was
You're
another
on the
massive
left. 3
mistake in
wide.
this race. That's going to undo all
Car
of the
right.
progress of the last few laps. We're going to take
Still
quite a
there.
curve there as we try and rejoin. We're now back behind
Still
the
there.
Cadillac, back behind the Porsche.
Still there.
We are going to try and re-overtake this Porsche wheel to wheel.
Right side's clear.
In sector 3. Up the hill into the braking zone. Can we
Car
get
right.
moved on the Caddy? The tuck up right behind
Still
the
there.
House and the Peugeot as well. We're going to take advantage of that fight.
Hold your line.
As we now head into the final
He's still
corner
there.
side by side with the Peugeot. We're
Hold
going to
your
follow
line.
the Glickenhaus round.
Right side's
Peugeot
clear.
gets really squeezed onto that inside curb, has to back out of it. Brilliant bit of racing there. Now we're going to look to re-overtake this Glickenhaus and then move back on to the Porsche and then back to the AF Corsa Ferrari. As
E9.
we come on to lap 13, 15 minutes left on the clock. Just adjusting the brake balance a little bit just to try and get a bit
Left
more
side.
grip as we go very
Clear
deep
left.
into the corner. Very deep, big lock
On your
up
right.
there.
Clear right.
As we now come down the hill looking to get past this Glickenhaus still after that very big mistake into turn 1. It's cost us quite a bit of time on him though, as we're going to carry much more speed through there. That Glickenhaus looking very unstable on that curb as we're going to try it round the outside coming down the hill. Once again difficult to try and get the power on as we just jump on that accelerator trying to keep them moving. The Glickenhaus seems to be struggling a little bit more in the wet, a little bit more unstable. As now we run down the back straight, run down the end of sector 2, looking forward to the Porsche Penske car just in front of us. As we have another little wobble there on the brakes, really struggling at that corner. We're going to make our way into sector 3 now, getting closer to this Porsche in front of us, finding our confidence in these wet conditions now, as we really start to push through the pack. As we have a bit of a lock up on the curb, go quite deep into that corner, maybe I spoke too soon. We're going to recover it though, didn't lose too much time from that mistake, it still would have cost us though. As we come into the final corner, getting closer to the other Porsche, starting to lose our visibility as we do get close though, due to this spray coming off his diffuser. As we adjust the traction control just to try and keep the car a little bit more planted on the exits.
P8.
Maxing all the settings out for the power cut, the slip angle and the overall traction control now. As we head into turn 1, another lock up there, another moment where we go quite deep, not as deep as the lap before but still not ideal. As we're now 1.3 seconds behind on the Porsche in front. Going to head into this left-hander, attack it very aggressive on that curb, try get on the power early. Traction control working very hard there to keep us facing the right way. As we just try and float the car around that corner now, trying to get closer to this Porsche in front. As we go on the brakes into this corner, get it stopped nicely. Take a lot of curb there on the exit. We're going to try and get the power down. We're going to struggle to gain any time on him though as we really start to lose our visibility out of these windscreens. As we head down the back straight, he brakes earlier than us. We might be in a place to make a very big dive from here as we go for it. Bit of a lock up.
Clear left.
We're going to get that move done. Very aggressive dive there, but it has worked out for us. Careful on the power on that curb. You can hear the traction control working very hard there as we start sector 3. look forwards to, you'll never guess who, it's the AF Corsa Ferrari, as we can just make out the rear end of that car through all the spray off these other cars, as there's a big battle going on, it looks like, at the end of Sector 3 here. Can we try and take advantage at some point as we look for a move down the inside of the Ferrari?
Car left.
Really squeeze our way into that window there. Try and get the power down. A little bit of contact. He's going to have a bit of a wobble on the curb.
Good pass. Eyes
We
front.
are going to get that pass done on lap 14 with 11 minutes on the clock now. Look forward to the other Porsche Penske car. Lamborghini leads the way from the Alpine. BMW in third and the other Alpine in fourth as we're going to come into turn 1. Get it stopped nicely there. Very nice line through turn 1 in these wet conditions. Very difficult corner. As we're going to head down into turn 2 now. Once again, very aggressive on that curb. Trying to keep the minimum speed very high as we get quite close to the Porsche Penske car here. Are we close enough to go around the outside?
Right.
Yes, we are. We go wheel to wheel. He's going to sneak back in front of us.
Clear right.
We're going to manage to hold that position.
done.
Alpine has another little wobble on the brakes there. As it looks like the Alpine in second is going for a move on the Lamborghini in first. We're going to try and get the power down now. But once again, we are behind the same Alpine going into this same corner. Can we get it stopped nicely this time? The answer is no. It's the lock up again, completely batter the Alpine out of the race there.
Clear all round,
go
right
very
side.
deep.
Green
Gonna
flag
really
set 3 wide, you're on the
lose
left.
a few positions now.
We think that the
They're
spun
going to go off track,
right.
making a mistake. We're going to let the Porsche through
Still
to
there.
avoid the penalty though.
Clear right. You've had
As we
quite a
head
lot
on
of
to
aero
sector
damage.
3
You might
now,
need to come
down
and
in
get it fixed.
P5. Engineers calling aero damage. I can't really
Left
feel
side.
it, so we're going to hold on to the car for the rest of the race as we go on the right hand side up the hill of the Porsche into that brake zone. We're going to get the move done. We're going to go very, very wide at that corner though. He's going to come back at us. He's going to in fact get fully ahead of us as we then go for a dive bomb into the final corner to try and secure that position on the inside there. We're going to get that position locked in now as we power forwards to try and get ourselves back onto the podium with the BMW 2.4 seconds ahead of us. 9.5 minutes on the clock as we start lap 16.
You're looking really good. Come on, keep your focus. P4.
We're going to try brake later into turn 1, try getting a bit of an advantage. We get the lock-up warning lights come on as we go very deep, sail
right.
completely past the
Clear
apex.
right.
The Porsche Penske car is going to try and move on us, a little bit of contact. And that's going to allow the AF Corsa car to try and sneak past him there. As we go into turn 2, very aggressive on that curb, going to go a little bit wide there. Very bumpy out there, not a very fun place to be. We're going to try hold and once again a very high minimum speed through this corner, dropping onto third now as the weather just keeps getting worse. Losing grip all over the track now. As we completely miss that apex as well. It's not been a brilliant sector 1. We start sector 2 now, 1.7 seconds back on the BMW in P3. Still 2.4 back from the Alpine in P2 though. And it is the Lamborghini that is leading this race here in Fuji as the conditions continue to get worse. There's a big puddle forming there on that apex, and there's we sail through it. Very careful on the power. As now we completely start to lose our visibility again. As we took into within a second of the BMW in front of us. Can there maybe be a move soon? As we're going to really close up in this corner there. And now into the final corner, we're within half a second now. Very, very close to his rear end now. We're going to take a tighter line. It's not going to pay off to anything, however, as he's going to get the better exit and manage to keep his position down the back straight as we come on to lap 17. Only about 5 laps left now, 4 or 5 laps, that's all we've got left in this race. Can we get ourselves back into P1 or at least back onto the podium here? That's the question as we brake early at turn 1, unable to see the actual corner until we get right on top of it there, being very cautious. We actually lose quite a bit of time there to the BMW in front on the entry, but we gain a little bit on the exit. As we head into turn 2, we're going to be very aggressive on this curb, try and carry a lot of speed through, gain a lot of time on the BMW as he has a little bit of a wobble on that curb. We're going to try around the outside of it.
Clear right.
He's going to brake to hold that inside line. We're going to manage to sweep him around the outside. So now we look forward to the Lamborghini. And the Alpine, as the Alpine has a little bit of a wobble, we have a lock-up and the Alpine pushes himself down the inside of the Lamborghini. These two are going to be wheel to wheel now. As we head down the back straight, we're going to take a tighter line there to try and get a switch back into this little right-hand kick as they both hit the brakes there. We're going to take advantage. We're now wheel to wheel with the Alpine as it sweeps around the outside of the Lamborghini. Can we get it stopped? This could be the move for the win as we lock up. Big sideways moment there, big mistake. The Alpine's going to shove our front end. We're going to make contact with the BMW and then the AF Corsa Ferrari as we lose a handful of positions there. Definitely not what we wanted there when we had a shot to take the lead of the race. But we're going to try and fight our way back as we send it down the inside of the BMW to secure that position. Look forwards now to the AF Corsa Ferrari and the Lamborghini. We want to try and make our way back through this pack as quickly as possible as we send it down the inside of the Lamborghini and into the left-hander up the hill. Can we hold this position? He's going to try get another move on us. He's made a bit of a mistake there. We're going to defend it as we come back onto the back straight now. We're in P4. Alpine leads the way from the Porsche, from the Lamborghini, from ourselves, and from the AF Corsa Ferrari. We've got 5 minutes 45 seconds on the clock as we come on to lap 18. This race is really going to go down to the wire here. Very dramatic as it looks like the AF Corsa Ferrari is going to try and move and it's going to brake early. Nothing's going to come of that attempt as he tries to send it down the inside of us. We're going to give him a good squeeze there as we try and get closer to the Lamborghini and the Porsche in front of us, battling it away for P2 as it looks like the Alpine is running away a little bit with his lead as the Lamborghini tries another move on the Porsche. Nothing's going to come from that one, however, as this now gives us a run to try and get around the outside of him at this long right-hander. Because that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go wheel to wheel and we're going to try and get the Porsche done as well here. Not quite there on the Porsche. Braking a little bit early to get it stopped. Porsche gets very close to that Alpine as now we head onto the back straight. 5 minutes left in this race now. P3, top 5, all within 3 seconds here. As we head into the very difficult braking zone at the end of sector 2, little bit of a wobble. We're going to get very close up to this Porsche in front of us. We're going to try and get the power down nice and early with the traction control really working overtime now. We're going to try and move down the inside. Nothing's going to come from that one. I'm going to keep it nice and close. Maybe there'll be a move before the end of this lap as we go down the inside. He's going to cut us off trying to get a move done on the Alpine. The Porsche's going for the lead of the race. As they're now wheel to wheel going up the hill again into the final right-hander. We're going to try and stick behind the Porsche here, try follow him through. As the Alpine gets squeezed onto that curb a little bit. Wheel to wheel with us. As we're going to get pushed out onto that curb. We're going to keep it in a straight line. As we hammer down the back straight now. 4 minutes left on the clock. About to start lap 19. Just about a second behind the leading Porsche. Can we retake the lead of this race as the Alpine and the Lamborghini hold 0.2 seconds behind us? They're going wheel to wheel into turn 1 as we're going to try and keep ourselves planted nice and stable here as we have a massive lock up there on the front end.
On your right.
We're going to try and get it turned in as the Alpine looks for a move down our inside. We're going to shut the door on that option though. As now we run down the hill looking to try and catch up to this Porsche in front. Now 1.2 seconds ahead of us. Going to be very aggressive on that curb as we have been all race here. We're now within 3/10 of him as we're going to try and send it round the outside. This is for the lead of the race and we've done it. That is P1 with 3 minutes on the clock. That's 3 laps left in this race and we have managed to get ourselves up into P1. Now it's just about extending our advantage, holding this lead, holding this good position. No more mistakes now. As we do manage to extend our lead over the Porsche to about 1.1 seconds as they're going to massively gain us into this braking zone as I'm a little bit scared of it now to be completely honest. We're going to get ourselves a good exit going up the hill. Just pull a bit of that time back, spread that gap a little bit. But sector 3 is going to be a place where we're going to be running a little bit slower now just to keep ourselves on the track and in a good position. As we only have 2 more laps here in this race now. With a 1 second gap to P2, as it looks like the Alpine and the Lamborghini are still going to be fighting all the way to the end. And maybe Robert Kubica is going to look to involve himself in that fight as we now go 1.2 seconds ahead of the Porsche behind us. A little bit of a wobble on that exit, but we're going to get the power down, get ourselves down this straight, just try and extend that advantage. As now the windscreen clears up a little bit now that we're out of everyone else's spray. 1.1 seconds to the Porsche behind as we start lap number 20. 2 minutes left on the clock now.
That's 2 minutes left.
As we're going to be
2
very
minutes.
cautious into turn 1. Really don't want to make any stupid mistakes here. As we have a bit of a lock-up, go very deep. That's going to invite the Porsche behind us to try and go for a move. But we're going to get a better exit on the outside. Found some more traction there. Just keep ahead of him. There's now 4 tenths between us. As we make a run down the hill into turn 2. Brake a little bit too late there. Go quite deep. Bit of a lock-up on the front left. Very wide. That might invite him in to get very close to us. Maybe he's going to try around the outside. No, he's going to back out of that one. It's now half a second between us. 1.5 minutes left in this race. As we have a bit of a wobble coming out of that corner. That's a big lock up into this left-hander though. We're going to go very wide there. Porsche's going to look down our inside. We're going to keep the lead however, just about. With the better traction on that exit there. We're going to make a big run down the back straight now. Bit of a wobble on that curb. As we brake very early for this corner. Really don't want to make any mistakes now. That Porsche's going to get quite close to us. We're going to manage to get a better exit now. Keep the position. 1 minute left in the race. There will be one more lap of racing here at Fuji. And then that will be it. The checkered flag will wave on the next lap. As we come up the hill in sector 3 into the left-hander. Going to keep it very tidy there. Very nicely done on that apex. Then going to make our way back up the hill into the final corner. As we go a little bit wide there, that's going to mean that we have to take a slower apex speed, but it shouldn't really affect our exit too much due to the wet weather conditions, as we've now got 1.3 seconds behind the Porsche behind. There's 20 seconds left on the clock as we head on to lap 21.
Come on, Charlie. One more lap. Keep it together. We'll win this.
The race engineer believing very strongly in us there as we brake nice and early into turn 1. Big lock up on that left side still, however. Managed to get to the apex this time. Short shift up into second just to keep the grip going nicely. We've got 1 second between us and the car behind. The timer hits 0. This is now, as the engineer said, the last lap. Checkered flag will fly as we fly down that main straight. We're just going to take this lap nice and steady. Don't want to take any risk. Don't want to make any silly mistakes. As we keep extending this advantage, we've got about 2 seconds between us and the Porsche behind. A little bit of a lock up there, but it's nothing too serious. Going to take still a very decent line there. Cut it a bit shorter just to make up for that mistake. Going to take a very tight line as we come onto this back straight now. 2.1 seconds to the Porsche behind as we come into this braking zone for the final time. Going to brake nice and early down to first gear. Very slow apex speed there. It's necessary in these wet conditions though, so we're going to get ourselves up the hill now. Traction control still working very hard to keep the grip there on the rear end. As we're going to take another slow apex there as we go up the hill for the final time now. There's 2 more corners until the win will be ours. We just got to keep it on the track now as we've got 2.6 seconds between us and the Porsche behind. The final corner as we make it round. Just going to make that apex. On the power now for the final time here in Fuji. This is it, the last straight. We're flashing the lights as we come down to win a Fuji sprint here in Le Mans Ultimate, in the Porsche 963,
nice one, Charlie. Great win. You deserved that today.
If you have enjoyed this video today, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.